Recording in progress.
So, good morning, gentlemen. We are supposed to start at 10 o'clock. So, hopefully, some of you have already joined, and some would be joining. So, congratulations for qualifying the first step, which is a written exam. And as you know, on an average, 1:3 is the ratio to qualify in a final interview and orientation. Technically, this says that the written exam has a this much percentage of a weightage and orientation has a this much percentage of a weightage, and interview is that much of a weightage in terms of percentage. But honestly speaking, uh, people who have qualified the written entrance exam, they are more or less same today. When you're called for interview, more or less same, I am saying. uh, Now your performance is most important thing which will determine your selection. Both the things would happen simultaneously except acting. There would be orientation for 3 to 4 days, and fifth day or fourth day would be the interview. In the interview, it is they already have prepared their list of the candidate which they have selected, and they wanted to present that list to the director of the institute. And this list is being prepared by the faculty member. Then there is a expert guest faculty which come for a different courses, and outside expert is a person who's a normally well-known cinematographer, director, editor, sound recordist, etc., etc. So these people, in association with the faculty, they would determine whether you would be selected finally or not. Now, a very important thing is what to do and what not to do. You actually cannot prepare now because hardly a week or 10 days are left maximum, I would say. But still, week is also a time, 7 days is also a time to refresh a couple of things and to figure it out whether certain thing which I would say, brush up again. Say for example, if you have read a story, and that story you read long back, so you can reread that story, make your pointers. If some of your favorite films, you can watch them again, and you can prepare like that. So today I would be discussing in a 1 hour what to do and what not to do rather. So first thing is the setup. Now in this particular frame, if you look at it carefully, it's an eye level. Framing is a first important thing for you to be a kind of semi-professional today. That most of the people I have seen, people sometimes the background is too bright than your face. So you see a big window backside where the sunlight is coming. So make sure that the background should be darker comparative to your face. There has to be enough light on your face when you are doing your setting up your frame for the interview or orientation program, because you are presenting yourself. So that's the one thing you need to be careful about, framing. Then how much there should be enough light on the face. I would not use a technical word, that there should be enough light on your face that it should be seen properly. That's point number one. Ideally speaking, try not to use the mobile phone, though as a plan B you can keep your phone ready and log in there also, because sometimes what happens is your internet connection. Kindly mute yourself. Like Akash, please mute yourself. Okay, everybody. When you have to ask a question, you unmute and then you ask a question. Otherwise, you are disturbing the entire class. So, framing is very important. That use either the desktop or laptop. If you don't have one, please go and borrow it for 4 days or 5 days through a friend or whosoever it is, and make sure that you have either a laptop or desktop. And as a plan B, because sometimes the internet connection goes or something goes wrong, then you should have a mobile phone handy where you can quickly log in, or I'm not sure whether they're allowed to log in from the two different set of the instrument with the same ID. So that's another thing. Point number two is level. The eye level is a very important, rather than low angle you see on the top of the. Sometime I've seen the fans of the people rotating up there, or some people are walking outside. So all those things should not be, is not desirable. So make sure that you are in a quieter place where nobody is going to disturb you for these 2 hours or 3 hours. Figure it out, a room in your house where nobody will be disturbing you. So that's very important. Ideally speaking, I prefer a blur background, so that even if somebody passes from the background, you don't notice that person. So no low angle, quieter area should be preferable, because when you're speaking, people should be able to hear you. That's a very important thing. Then, as I said, the unnecessary kind of sound should not be there. Then sometime they might ask you during the time of orientation to show your work over there, to share the work over there, not by email, but by instantly, or if they have allocated a certain thing, some kind of assignment, and they ask you to show it now, for example, or they will give you half an hour to. I think ideally it should be sending via email, but sometime it can also happen that they might ask you to share, particularly when you are in a 1:1 kind of a meeting. There are different kind of meeting which is going to be there. So either there will be a group discussion kind of a thing, and then there will be a individual interaction. Even in the individual interaction, they might ask you to share certain thing which they would have asked you to do online. For example, in I'm not sure there is an animation student or not. They might ask you to draw something on your pen and paper. Go and get your pen and paper ready. They might inform you in advance, and instantaneously they might ask you to draw something. So let's say, for example, a favorite character. So you have a pen and you have a paper. So quickly you did the drawing, and you could show it over there. So sometime showing through that could be there. Sometime if they have given the assignment and say, okay, within a 10 minutes time, you have 10 minutes time, do that and load. So sharing option is much more easier on the laptop or desktop than any other, than the mobile, I suppose. So that's another thing. Also sometime, people are using the headphone and the sound is not very clear. It is more important for sound to be very clear than your photograph or your face to be seen over there. I'm not saying that your face should not be clearly seen, but I have seen sometimes there's a disturbance in the sound, the connection is not proper, sometimes the wire is broken. So these small things you have to be very careful. People use the remote thing, and sometimes the connection is disturbed. Ideally, the wire thing is much more better than the Bluetooth, but if Bluetooth is working properly, there is no harm. Battery of, as I said, that mobile should be avoided, and I have seen people, their battery goes off, and if you're using a mobile for a plan B, make sure that your mobile should be fully ready. Put it on a charge in the night, until morning when you wake up, it is 100% charge. That's what I normally do it, but everybody has their own way of doing the things. It's very important to be on time. I have seen people taking it very easily, and sometimes they land up, sometimes they don't land up. So all these kind of a thing are not desirable. If the time is at 9 o'clock, they will check the attendance over there. Let's say today 57 participants are there. So if the attendance is supposed to be of the 40 people, all 40 should be on a time. So these are small things which will matter. Some people are not disciplined. So that's very important to be on time. It can also happen that sometimes people woke up late, and if it's supposed to start at 10 o'clock, and then 9:30 they're rushing around, and so make sure that you present yourself properly. Doesn't mean that wear the coat and tie and all that, but should look presentable. if you honestly ask me, I have told time and again that what exactly they are looking at it. They are not looking at your information level. Information level is important. I'm not saying that it's not important. But what they are looking at is your understanding of theater or painting or literature or cinema or music or dance. If suppose you say I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer, for example, so do you really understand that or not? You can't fake it. You can't try to impress them unnecessarily. If you do not know something, don't say that you are this. Many very often I have seen people saying that, oh, I do theater, which means I also know about theater. That they work into some small roles as a backstage, and they claim that they do theater, and they are stuck. When the discussion on theater starts, then they are stuck. So make sure that you do not say anything which you don't know. If many people very superficially they have a knowledge of things, particularly in acting, I have seen many people, oh, I do theater, oh, I do theater, and when you start talking about it, they are completely blank. So don't unnecessarily throw your weight around. Don't try to impress with something which you are not. So, Mr. Vora, all of you can switch off your videos right now. That's it. And the way the gentleman was in his t-shirt, all these things are not desirable. When you are in a formal meeting, you have to be formally dressed up. Otherwise, you would also come into the class in your t-shirt. T-shirt means banyan basically. You just saw one example. There are few things which in general everybody has to know for national level institutional. Today I would say international, because very few film school has that. Why, when people say why you want to go to FTI, yesterday when I was in a discussion, somebody asked me this question, why you want to come to FTI or SRFTI. I'm repeating the same question's answer. A, the kind of facilities you have over there are not there in the private universities. Believe me, I have seen the private universities, how they try to save the money rather than to spend the money. So the kind of facilities, FTI and SRFTI on an average has a budget between 40 crore to 60 crore rupees. Sometimes it goes up also, depend upon the plan budget of the every year. So the facilities they have, no private university in this country has. Call it, you name it, and I know personally the people who are teaching over there and what infrastructure they have and all that. A. B. The number of workshops which happens over there. Not many institutions conduct those kind of workshop, because the alumni do not throw their weight around and say I'm very busy and this and that, because it's alma mater. They come without any charging the court. I charge 20,000 rupees a day or 40,000 rupees. They will come whatever their norms are there. That's another reason. The industry workshops are much more higher. Facilities are much more superior, particularly the camera like Alexa fitted with Zeiss lenses or Coke optics or some high and expensive lenses. B. C. The library, of course, the more expensive books are there. The National Film Archive of India is just round the corner in case of FTI. SRFTI has a competent library, well-equipped library also. So even if they don't have an FAI, they have a good library. And C, a very important thing. Many private universities while away their time by teaching many nonsense. Nonsense means business as a foreign language, environmental science, behavior ethics, this, that. 50% of the credit goes to those unnecessary subjects. And why they do it? Because sometimes they have a 10 student in a class, sometimes 15 student in a class. So to appoint one teacher for a 10 or 15 student, they prefer to appoint 60 class of 60 and one teacher. So it is much more economical for them. So you waste a lot of time in studying all these things. If I don't want to learn a foreign language, why I should study it? But many universities force you under the pretext of new foreign language, new education policy. I've gone through the document of new education policy. It doesn't forces you, it is out of choice. Multidisciplinary is out of a choice, not out of a compulsion. So that's another important reason that the maximum number of credits, FTI or SRFTI for that matter, concentrate on a specialization. which means, say for example, if it is a 2 year acting course, 6 months is a common course for them. We call it as a foundation course. Somebody would prefer to call it as a common course, where you get to know about editing, sound, direction, screenplay writing, all the elements of filmmaking. So that focus, foundation course is 25% and 75% is your specialization. If it is a 3 year course, 1 year will be common and 2 year will be a specialization. So all that unnecessary things are not there. So these are the three major reasons. And fourth, which is not much useful as such, which is alumni. Alumni of FTII is much more established. Sometimes they help, not all the times. Sometime could be 20%, 30%. Just you happens to be a graduate from there, they will meet you. No, and you will realize it once you pass it out. So they may not help you. They may help you, depend upon what kind of reference you have, what kind of person you are. There's so many factors which goes into it in terms of seeking their help. But yes, alumni of FTI is much more stronger, and those who want to get into the academics, its degree is diploma is considered equivalent to the degree. In case of SRFTI, it is not done so far because they're least bothered about it, doing this paperwork of Association of Indian Universities. Once they will wake up and they will do it, their diploma would also be equivalent to the degree. So if somebody wanted to go into the research and all that, you don't have to do a master, it is equivalent to the master. So that's another reason why people prefer to go FTI rather than SRFTI. So these are few reasons. I'm coming to some of the people are very argumentative. I know many people, they whatever they believe, they very, very strongly believe that this is the way it is. I'm not saying that you do not substantiate your point of view, but don't get into the argument while the interaction is happening. You could politely say, sir, this is what I believe. Maybe you have a different opinion, but this is my opinion. That's it. Don't get into the argument. It's not a court. There is a judge. There is no judge. And if there is a judge, it is those people who are going to judge, not you people. You don't have a choice. They have a choice to select you or not to select you. So argument should be avoided. Also, I mentioned yesterday, all your strong political opinions, that I believe in this and I believe in that and all those kind of things, even if they give a situation, very smartly they would do it, where they will ask your political opinions very smartly, in a very subtle way. You may not be able to figure it out. It happens that you may not be able to figure it out, and they will check it. So make sure that you do not come out as a candidate who is very, very adamant about the views, particularly about a political party and what kind of things should be happening on that idealism kind of a thing. You try to keep it to yourself. Once you get in, then do what you feel like, but not before that. As I said, they're looking for, are you intelligent enough? Intelligence is what they are looking at it, and how they would check it out, intelligence level. They have a different mechanism in place. They would interact with you 15 minutes, 20 minutes, not more than 30 minutes for sure. When the individual interaction is happening, individual interaction can happen at 2 days also, not 1 day only. But so far as my understanding is, they will prefer only 30 minutes because there are 40 students on an average. So everybody should be given the chance. So those 40 minutes or 30 minutes, you need to crack the game, and that's it. So it's not the information, but it is more of analysis. It is more of understanding whatever you say. If you say something, then you have to substantiate what you're talking about. Film appreciation is something which everybody should have a knowledge about. So as I said, that they might show a particular scene, and they will ask you to write down what is so great about it. So be precise, use limited number of words. Don't try to fill up with so even if they say maximum 500 word, not necessarily you say things in a 500 word. It could be just 200.1, 2, 3, that's it. I prefer to say pointer, because if I show a scene in which 3 important things are there, for example, then are you able to catch those 3 things? There may be 4th also, but at least those 3 things, are you able to catch it? Like for cinematography student, when I will be doing a class with them, I will be showing a clip and I'll ask them, what did you notice? Most important thing. There are two important things in that particular scene. One from cinematography point of view, another from simple from in general. So what is your understanding? They might show you a short clipping, they might show you a clipping, or they might particularly maybe a scene or an ad film, or maybe just an image. It could be a painting also, and then immediately ask you to write it down and send an email to them within 15 minutes time, for example. That could be one of the exercise. It can happen at the time of lunch. So say for example, if they break at a lunch 1 o'clock, and at 1 o'clock they show you one particular image, painting or whatever, and they ask you to write it down within 10 minutes and send a mail by 1:15, 1.15. It means 1.15. So that kind of a thing can happen. You can again, you have a 45 minutes for your lunch at your disposal. So that kind of thing can also happen, that where the cheating business should not happen and cannot happen. Even if you try, they will figure it out. So don't try to cheat, be honest. Even if you do not know, it's okay. Most of the time, I have seen many people, they have this habit of beating around the bush. गोल मोल घुमाते रहेंगे वो लोग. So use limited number of words, be to the point, and as simple as that. Don't keep talking and on and on and on and on and on. No. To be precise and to the point. That is what the formula is, that is what the master key is to crack it. Portfolio is something which very often people are confused about. In acting, yes, certainly portfolio is needed. In animation, yes, most certainly the portfolio is required. Even in the letter they have mentioned over there, they needed a portfolio and you need to submit the portfolio. They have given the guidelines to those people who are being selected for the animation course. So yes, portfolio is required for these two courses. Other courses, portfolio is not that important, but if you have something, wonderful. If they ask you to load it, yes, you can load it. There is something else also called statement of purpose. In certain courses, they will ask you to write a statement of purpose, why you particularly wanted to join a particular course. So you could tell your that how you got introduced, and then that this was the reason I come to know that this will be the most suitable course, and whatever you feel like. It's like many people are not extrovert, for example. They're very introvert. They will prefer something in which they are confined into some room and do things like writing, for example. Script writing is something in which you really have to read a lot, you have to watch a lot. So people who are extrovert, who like going out, they may not be the suitable for that kind of a course. Editing, for that matter, editing is also a course in which you have to sit down in front of the computer today, and you have to watch footage for a long number of hours, and a lot of patience is required. So you knowing yourself, and as per your aptitude or liking, you could choose a particular profession. So depend upon your interest, depend upon how the interest got developed, and you could narrate a small interesting way the how you got interested in something else. In my previous interview, I told you that in a 10th standard we had to choose photography versus electronic, and by mistake, not by mistake, but since I come from a very ordinary family, in those days camera was very expensive and I could not afford the cameras, so I took the electronic. We learned nothing except the soldering. Photography student, they had this small pocket thing in which they will flaunt their negatives and all that. So there was some kind of inferiority complex got developed into many students. I was one of those. So at some point when I was better off, I learned the photography properly, and that's how my interest grew into cinematography. So it was a gradual way. You get introduced at some point, and then slowly you it becomes you also get infatuated or affected by that, and that's how it happens. So you can always say how you got into particular kind of stuff. Sometimes, let's say for example, I did a documentary on band bajawalas, all time blues. So when you wrote that statement, I mentioned that in front of our house there was a temple, and a lot of small these band guys would come and play, whether it is the Kuva Pujan or something else. So very often I will get disturbed because of their sound, So that keep haunting me on and off. And at some point I found that this is a very interesting subject and nobody has done a documentary on it. So that's how that subject came to my mind. So it can come from at any event or small episode in your life, and you can just tell them how it happened. So these are the things. Uh, Also, there's a priority. I would recommend it very, very strongly. I know someone, he wanted to become an actor. He could not qualify the acting course. He joined a different course in SRFTI. But this is what I would never recommend. I'll tell you why. If you want to be a cinematographer, you have to choose cinematography. If you want to be a director, choose the direction, because that's a branding. You are being labeled as a director from the day one. You are being labeled as an actor. From the some people, let's say for example, somebody would there's always an exception. Let's say Sanjay Leela Bansali joined the editing course in FTII, and the moment he passed out, he started assisting Vidhu Vinod Chopra in 1942, A Love Story. So from the day one, though he did the course of editing, but from the day one in the market, he was a director, assistant director. But it can happen that sometime I've seen people, I have never understood why people do it, just to, oh, chalo, ye nahi ho raha to ye ho jaye. It doesn't happen like. Examination for some of you have qualified the written for the editing also and for direction also. I know some of you who have done it. But I would say no. If you want to be a director, choose the direction as a course, not editing. If you want to be a cinematographer, choose the cinematography as your course, not the direction. Some people think it is a good idea to learn editing the way Sanjay Leela Bansali did, and once you pass out, you start as a director. I would say no, because there's so many things which goes into becoming a director. Editing is one important part. Cinematography is one important part, and more important part is the script writing. So that's why the FTI has a course called Direction and Screenplay Writing. As a director, you have to have the capability to write your own script. But at the same time, I would also say that script writing is not a phenomena where you sit into the room and do it. Even in the Salim Zaved, the most popular script writer of this country, there were two people. So there was a brainstorming happening between two about anything, argument. Bounce board is required. So people like Federico Fellini always worked with the three people. You look into the credits of all the films of Fellini, you will find four people working on the script of the Fellini. Sometimes three people. So 3 to 4 people are required. So there are certain capabilities which are additionally required to become something. For example, for a director, you have to have a script writer, but you may not have a great sense of cinematography. That's why a cinematographer will be able to, you will do your framing and cinematographer will improve upon it and make it better. Same is for the editing. Even if you have done some mess up at the time of edit, editor would take care of it. So all these, sound design for that matter, sound recording also. So there are certain things which you should have an understanding of the vocabulary, the grammar. That's why the foundation course, that everybody should be able to understand other disciplines so that you can interact with them in their vocabulary. But if you want to be a director, do the direction course. This is my suggestion. Rest is up to you. So my point was, choose a course over the institute. If you are getting a editing, let's say for example, but you don't want to be editor, you actually want to be a director. But you are not getting FTI for that matter. You're getting SRFTI, doesn't matter. Course should be your priority, not the institute. That is what, if you get the course and institute both together, nothing like that. One more important thing. Many people think that 3 year you will become some Brahmgyani, and in 1 year is for these TV people, and in FTI they call it as a TV ka tucha. It doesn't matter. Honestly speaking, it doesn't matter. 1 year is enough, to my mind, to get inspired from the filmmaking in terms of watching films, in terms of understanding that. And once you enter in the industry, the real learning happens over there. Very often I say, in 3 years in FTI, I didn't learn the cinematography. So what I was doing there? I gained the confidence of becoming a cinematographer. The day you started assisting on the set, the real learning happens over there. Because you are working under pressure, professional attitude is there, everything is there at your disposal. In FTIs or FTI, it's not an ideal situation. Remember it. If you are looking for a Roscoe gel of this particular kind, you may not find it. So, but still, after saying that, it has enough infrastructure to learn whatever you want to learn. If you don't want to learn, you want to sleep, it's your choice. Nobody is going to come and knock at your door, come and attend the class. It's your choice. So my suggestion is, ideally speaking, if you have a time, if you are already 25 and you're going to spend 3 more years over there, you will, by the time you pass out, 28. Subject to the condition, there is no strike. Okay. FTI and SRFTI people, they at the drop of their hat, they go for a strike. God knows why. When I was a student for 3 years, I finished my 3 year course in 3 years, and I was determined that I should finish within 3 years. No strike should happen, whatever is the reason, and it happened. Once I pass out, immediately in the month of January, there was a strike. So anyway, my point is, even if you have a choice of 1 year versus 3 years, I, with my experience of 30 years, I would prefer 1 year. I would not prefer 3 years. But after saying this, if not, then 3 years. If your age permits, if you are still around 22 or thing like that, it's okay. You can still afford to do 3 years. But learning in the industry is much. Nobody is going to ask your certificate, show me the diploma, whether you did a 3 year or 1 year. Nobody. Nobody means really nobody. People ask you show reel. Show me your show reel. That's it. When you say I'm graduate from FTI, people believe because you're not fooling around. Though many people do 1 month film appreciation course or some short term course, and they also claim that I am from FTI. It doesn't matter much. What matters is your show reel, your work. So, in a brief, this is what I need to say. 1 year versus 3 year. I will prefer 1 year course, not 3 year, because I will spend 1 year and pick up almost the same amount of knowledge and thing than somebody who's 3 year. Of course, 3 year people would use the Alexa camera. I may use only black magic over there. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If your film is really good enough, you can shoot on a Canon 5D Mark IV or Blackmagic and get selected into the Cannes, Berlin, Venice. I'm talking about the short films. And even if your film is nonsense, you shoot on Alexa with the Carl Zeiss and Cook Optics lenses, really doesn't matter. So what matters is your content. Because today, Blackmagic and all these cameras are able to reproduce an image of 4K resolution, and that's more than enough. 4K is really, many of the cinema hall in this country is not equipped for 4K resolution. 50% of the cinema hall are still working at the 2K resolution. But yes, someday they will be upgraded to the 4K, all the projection systems. But what I need to say is that you can still make a great film on a Canon 5D Mark IV or Blackmagic. Doesn't matter even if you don't get it Alexa, if you do 1 year course. So don't develop this inferiority complex. I personally know cinematography graduate from FTI who did 1 year course. They are high profile cinematographers charging 1,50,000 rupees a day in advertising. I personally know them. They've shot feature films also, as well as advertising. 1.5 lakh per day, which is a high profile A grade cinematographer charges. They did 1 year course only. So don't be under the impression कि 3 years का ही करोगे तभी सिनेमाटोग्राफी. बहुत से लोगों की खोपड़ी में घुसा होता है. 3 साल का करेंगे तभी सिनेमाटोग्राफर बनेंगे, 1 साल में सिनेमाटोग्राफर नहीं बन सकते. No, I have proof. People did a 1 year course. Even this year, latest example, this year the film which got the short film award in the Cannes Film Festival, that student was from 1 year direction course. Mark my words. Check it. He did 1 year course from television wing in FTI. So really doesn't matter. That's it. So this is what I need to say briefly. It is 35 minutes. We still have 25 minutes to interact with you people. If you have some specific question, you can ask it. And otherwise, I will keep talking and you may not have the opportunity to ask a question. So I would suggest raise your hand and ask a question one by one. And unmute yourself. And if you can show your face, good. If not, it's still fine. Okay. Indra Kumar, please unmute yourself and speak it out.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, I have qualified for the direction and screenplay writing course.
Okay, that's a three-year program, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, actually, I didn't. I actually applied for JET like last year also, and I didn't qualify it. So I joined the film school and I completed 1 year integrated course in it.
Where?
Sir, sir, in Assam, Guwahati, Dr. Bhupen Hazarika Regional Film Institute.
Yes.
So, sir, actually, I actually wanted to go into FTI and SRFTI if I got the chance. So, sir, now that I'm I got selected, I want to get selected in FTI also. So, sir, would this 1 year, past year of me being in another film school affect me in my selection in FTI?
I would, if I'm in an interview board and if you would say that to me, honestly, I would say continue over there for one more year. Why to waste here another time? Because you would be repeating what the basic common foundation thing which you have learned over there in Guwahati. The same repetition would
Yes.
happen here. So would you like to repeat the same thing again for one year? That is my question to you.
Yes, sir. Because I am in a wrong course. I am not in a direction course. I am in an editing course. There is no direction course here in
Okay.
Guwahati.
So again,
So,
I am saying that since I do not know the program structure over there in Guwahati, even if you're in editing course, at least the editing part you are much more stronger, right?
sir, it was an integrated course, so I haven't entered my specialization yet.
Okay.
So,
So
sir,
you are still
also,
that's what my question is. You are still doing the foundation course for one year.
yes, sir.
Okay. Now here when you come to FTI, you would again do the same foundation course for one year. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So what is going to, please try to understand what is going to happen. You would be repeating the same thing what you was doing in the Guwahati. Would you like to do that?
Sir, I think I will learn better in FTI
See,
rather than here.
this is a myth. People have weird conceptions in their life. A, try to understand that there is no red carpet treatment once you graduate from FTI or SRFTI. Point number one, I'm talking from my own experience. You all have to struggle in the similar manner the way somebody is graduate from aft, craft, whistling wood, falana, dhimka, etc. etc. The queue remains same, which is called assistantship. Okay, so don't expect a red carpet treatment. A. B. You graduate from anywhere. Your basic understanding of cinema, your craftsmanship as a cinematographer, as an editor, sound recordist is what going to count rather than your label of FTI or SRFTI. Point number two. So, are you keen to waste again your 1 year to repeat the same thing which you have learned over there? Are you willing? Thinking that you
So
will learn better?
I think I'll learn better there.
Okay.
there.
So if you think better, you are welcome to waste your 1 year. It doesn't matter to me. I'm using a word waste, and I'm very careful when I'm using this word waste. You may not agree, but to my mind, it will be a wastage. If you want to do think that here some miracle is going to happen, or some Bergman Tarkovsky would get down on the earth and take your class to you, it is a misconception. No big shot is going to come for the orientation for the first year common foundation course. Normally, whatever the faculty is there, they will be teaching you. Of course, you can still say hello to them when they are walking on the road, even if they have come for second year or third year student. But miracle will not happen in the again when you're going to repeat. So, you want to repeat, you're welcome. I have no problem. What's your name?
Sir, my name is Indra Karma Vaishnav.
Okay, Indra Karma. Yeah, you have mentioned the question also. Okay, so I have answered
Sir,
my state. I have answered what I believe in. It's your choice. It doesn't matter for them whether you was doing or not. But yes, some people like me who would be sitting over there. This boy will waste one more year. He is not able to understand it. So let's disqualify him and let's pick up someone who has not done something like that. I would think like this.
this may happen.
This
sir.
may happen. This may happen. I would, if Naresh Sharma would never sit into the FTI or SRFTI entrance exam selection committee for a various reason, not because I'm not qualified, because I also run there's a clash of interest because I run the coaching program, so it will be a clash of interest. But yes, if I'm sitting in an orientation and interview thing, I will not select you because you already have done your basic course. Why you wanted to come and waste your 1 year and to occupy another seat of a student who has not done something like that? This is my
Yes.
perception. Somebody else sitting next to me might think differently. Outside expert may think another way, but my thinking would be this.
Yes, sir.
Somebody
Thank
has
you,
raised hand. Shrijan. Okay, you also type your question here so that I will follow. I will announce the name from this typing thing. Right now, the Shrijan will ask a question, and then we will go to Tavish Sharma.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So I wanted to ask, in the orientation round, is there also something like a written test which happens?
See, not exactly the written test, but the assignment may be given to you. The assignment would be given to you. As I mentioned earlier, that it could, particularly for the animation student, they might ask you to draw something, some cartoon or some situation. For direction student, they might ask you to draw some basic drawings for a particular situation. How you will break down. We call it as a short breakdown. How you would
Yeah.
do the short breakdown into 10 shots for this sequence.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say for example you today morning you woke up and you get ready for your orientation class today. How you would describe that 30 minutes of your process before you switch on your computer in 10 shots, let's say,
Okay.
theoretically. So you might do the drawing means does not mean that you have to be a perfect drawing artist. My drawing is horrible even today, but there's some idea they would get it. What exactly your composition is all about, what kind of characters are there, how you do the short breakdown. So those kind of assignment would be there, but not as writing assignment would be there for sure. For screenplay writing student, it is a must. Direction and
For
screenplay writing
cinematography.
student, it is a must. There would be assignments would be given to you overnight. You have to develop it, send it back to them early morning, or there would be a deadline. Make sure that you follow the deadline. Don't go to the sleep. So there would be assignments given to you for everyone. Direction, script writing, cinematography, sound recording. There would be assignment, and you need to finish it, and you need to send it to them, and they will look at it.
So
It's
for
yeah.
specifically for cinematography, is it like that they will also ask
Of course, of
ki
course, of course.
explain exposure triangle or ISO
They
or
can
something?
ask any damn thing under the sun. Today
Okay.
you cannot say, "Oh, I live in a remote place of Bihar and I don't know." No, there is internet. Yes, if there is internet, there is a Google, there is a YouTube. You were sleeping, you didn't bother to read it. All that thing is required. Today there are so many small courses are going on the internet. 5,000, 10,000, 2,000, sometimes 500 rupees. You know, so it's a very important. That's why the cinematography entrance exam this year was very tough. They found some weird painting, God knows from where. I have a lot of interest in painting, and even I didn't understand from where they dig out this painting. And
Yeah.
it's getting tough year by year. Even the questions, some of the questions are very intelligently drafted, very intelligently. Sometimes I wonder, since I know those people, they are all my colleague. So very intelligent questions are being drafted, not to understand your technical knowledge about shutter speed, aperture. Of course, they also ask those kind of questions, but to understand your aesthetics and intelligence, both. You know,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
they can ask you to shoot some particular thing. Because this year it is a SRFTI, and Samiran Datta, who happens to be head of the department, he was colleague of mine at FTII, is little complicated in general. He will ask some abstract subject for you to do it. I will be discussing that in the cinematography class. I don't want to waste the time here. So some abstraction kind of a thing could be there. So be ready for it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So, okay, next is Utsab Naskar. Utsab Naskar, quick.
Hello,
Please.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, I have a couple of questions.
Please.
I'll say quickly.
Yeah.
Like that film school person said, I also have a background, but in film studies. Like I have just completed my master's from Jadavpur University.
Yeah, that
Film
is what
Studies.
I was expecting, that you would have done the film studies from Jadavpur University. I know many people who are from Jadavpur University. I think it's one of the famous place. Someday I need to visit that. Now I'm inspired enough. So it's good. See, your understanding about film studies, which means basically the film appreciation. You know, so film appreciation is must. It's a must. So film appreciation is again a theoretical understanding of film appreciation, which qualifies you to become a film critic. Which all filmmakers are the first step. They are the film critics. Then they are editors, sound recordists, or whatever they are. So that is not a hampering. If you have done some film studies, it's good. But unlike that gentleman who has done 1 year complete course from a film school, who would be repeating the same thing over there, could be a problem. But having that is not a problem. Next question.
Just I'll say quickly. Can I? I have applied for screenwriting. So will I be allowed to write in vernacular language, like even if I write in English font?
See, this is something very important. This sometime people can't type in Hindi, like I can't type. Okay, so what I do is I use that software in which the script in a Hindi language has to be written in Devanagari lipi. That is what I believe. Sometimes people write in using alphabet of English language. Usne kaha, USNA, kaha, KAHA. I don't do that. If I use the Hindi, then it has to be Hindi. If it is English, then he said that, blah 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 blah. So the choice would be there. Either you use the English language or Hindi language, not this English Hindish kind of a thing. I would suggest don't you do that.
Just English then.
It's just English. If it is English, if it is a Hindi, then let it be a Hindi. There's no harm. Everybody in this country, until unless you happens to be from hardcore Kerala or hardcore Madras, those people are not familiar with Hindi language. But I suppose most of the Bengalis are very good in Hindi, reading and writing both. So use either proper Hindi or proper English. That is my suggestion. It's up to you. Okay, next.
Okay, thank you.
Saurabh Mishra. Oh, no, sorry. Jaspinder Singh. Quick.
सर जैसे आपने कहा कि ओरिएंटेशन का वेटेज थोड़ा ज्यादा होता है और इंटरव्यू का थोड़ा कम होता है
मेरे हिसाब से होता है क्योंकि नाउ इज अ परफॉर्मेंस. You may be very theoretically very strong about few things. That's why you pick up maximum marks. Your GK was very high. Your other things were very high. So you could secure more marks. But that's the information level.
ओके सर मेरा सवाल ये है कि इंटरव्यू में जैसे मेरा एक बैकग्राउंड है मैंने लिटरेचर पढ़ा इंग्लिश का
बहुत अच्छी
तो
बात है.
उसके सवाल इंग्लिश लिटरेचर पढ़ा सर उसके सवाल भी पूछ सकते हैं ऐसे मेरी जो पास बैकग्राउंड स्टडी की हिस्ट्री रही है
पूछेंगे ही. अगर आपने
Okay.
इंग्लिश लिटरेचर पढ़ा है तो क्या पढ़ा है बताइए. आप थोड़ा मार्क ट्वेन पूछ सकते हैं आपसे. पहले वो आपको फंसाएंगे इन द सेंस के शेक्सपियर पढ़ा है तो आइए अब आप. शेक्सपियर हर आदमी को कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा बहुत हर एक ने पढ़ा होता है. अब वो
जी.
आपने बोल दिया मर्चेंट ऑफ वेनिस मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है तो फिर कुछ और डिस्कशन होगा उसमें. फिर कुछ चीज़ें आएंगी उसमें. तो वट एवर इज योर सब्जेक्ट ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन that would be certainly asked for. If it is literature, then you are expected to know much more about the rest of the people. For example, okay, when you claim that you was a literature graduate, then they expect that your knowledge about literature should be much more higher than rest of the people.
ओके थैंक यू सर.
Okay, so then Saurabh Mishra. I am 27, currently working as a graphic designer at MNC, earning good. I have interest in cinema since childhood. I created various short films and documentaries. I recently discovered interest in sound design and applied for the same. Sir, could you please help me with the what are career opportunities after the course as a sound recordist and designer? It's a very simple question. Google it, you will find it. There's a great opportunity as a sound designer and thing. It's nothing big deal about it. It's a very simple question. There are 10 sites which can answer it. Sir, what kind of assignment can be expected for sound recording and sound design? Today there is a class at 2 o'clock. I am sure that you must have signed up. And fortunately call it Bishwadeep Chatterjee, who is a well-known sound designer. FTII has many people who have achieved wonder in their lives. Bishwadeep Chatterjee is one of the most happening sound designer of this country. Had done the films for Sanjay Leela Bhansali and some other big boys. So he would be also attending the class for 2 hours. 1 hour I would be doing the orientation first, and then Bishwadeep would be joining us for another hour. So he would be the right person to talk about it. I would also send it across to all the sound recording students, particularly an interview which I conducted of Bishwadeep Chatterjee, which is really amazing interview on the sound design. So read it. You will find many more things, and he would be able to tell you much more about it. So this is assignment thing. He would be able to talk better. Tavish Sharma, sir, I am in a corporate right now, and it might come up that why did you not choose filmmaking after college? So how should I tackle it? Very simple answer. जीवन में ब्रह्म ज्ञान कभी भी प्राप्त हो सकता है. कुछ लोगों को ग्रेजुएशन के बाद होता है, कुछ लोगों को पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन के बाद होता है, कुछ लोगों को 40 साल की उम्र में होता है. इन माई बैच देयर वाज अ जेंटलमैन कॉल्ड श्रीकांत वी प्रभु. ही वाज 40 years old working in a bank. After spending 40 years of life into this banking, at least for 10 years, he realized that this is not his cup of tea. As simple as that. So he gave up everything and came for FTI. I was thinking I was late because I was 24 at that time. And when I met Prabhuji, so I said, oh, I'm early. So there is no limit. That's why FTI has a no age limit. Mind it, NSD has 30 years of age limit. FTI don't have age limit. So in cinema, you can be enlightened at any day, at any given point of your time. You could realize, so it doesn't matter. Even if you're 27, you are still early, I would say. People get enlightened at 40 and then they quit their job and come. So it doesn't matter. Your interest, you decided now. You don't want to waste your time, so it doesn't matter. Ritam, sir, I have a question. Is the orientation for FTI, SRFTI same, or there would be another orientation later for FTI? No, it's a combined thing. Now they don't want to waste the time. Earlier they used to, so there will be one orientation, not different one. Sanjana, sir, you had mentioned that you will give us a list of short film to watch which might come in the orientation. Yes, I have sent that list to the direction student, 5 films or 6 films. Not sure. Sanjana, you are for direction or for which course?
So for direction, I haven't received it.
You haven't received it? Okay. What I'll do is this list of these 7-8 films, which I have, 1 or 2 I have forgotten, I will add them also. And today I will shoot it across to all of you. And there is a link of the YouTube also. So you can send it. I will send it again to all of you. And if anybody don't get it, then please ask me, because sometimes it goes to spam. That's another problem. It should not be. That's why I sent from 2 different emails, office email and my personal email, so that some mail would land up somewhere into your inbox. But I'll send it again. Don't worry. Kshitij, I had a question, sir. Please, Kshitij, what is your question? Kshitij, are you around or gone for morning walk?
हेलो हाय
Yeah,
सर
please.
या सर सो जैसा कि आपने मेंशन किया कि साउंड डिजाइन वाला ये सब जो साउंड डिजाइन वाले और जो सिनेमाटोग्राफी वाले जो क्वेश्चंस है मतलब जो ओरिएंटेशन होंगे वो असाइनमेंट प्रोवाइड करेंगे आपको और आपको सबमिट करना होगा
Correct.
सो माय क्वेश्चन वाज कि जैसे एनीथिंग दैट वी वुड बी डिस्क्राइबिंग इन दैट असाइनमेंट so what do they look for, like do they look for how technically we shape the like I have applied for sound design wala course. So, would they look for how technically I have shaped or described the sound?
No. Please try to understand. Sound design is a question of aesthetical considerations.
Okay. Like
Sound recording is a technical thing. How much the level should be there, what should be the mixing levels, sound mixing, sound recording is a technical game. Then sound design is a aesthetics. What kind of sound? That's why I'm saying Vishnudeep Chatterjee's interviews of amazing interview. Amazing means amazing. Then there is a Belon Fonska's interview is also very interesting. I will figure it out and send it across to you. Then Subhash Sahu, who is again star sound recordist from FTII Pune, got the national award for Omkara for Filmfare as well as national. He has interviewed brilliantly about his experience of his. So there are three interviews. I'll send it across to you people. Read them carefully. And mind you, these interviews are good for direction people also. So I will send it across to everyone. Whosoever is interested, they can read it. So all these things are technical things, but they are not talking about how much the dB level was there or what kind of impedance the headphone should have. No, these are technical things. So it's not a question of impedance, how much impedance was there of that headphone. No, they, of course, sound recording and the student would be asked. I would be discussing that into 1 hour class first over there. So when we talk about the sound design, it is basically the sound design need to be done by the director. Then it need to be complemented by the sound recordist, who's the sound designer also. So all these sound recordists are also sound designers. Sound recordist is more of technical thing, but today they have graduated to this another domain called sound design, which is becoming more and more popular because it's not just recording and mixing and track laying. It is more of what kind of sound should be there. So Vishnudeep's interview is really, really amazing interview. Read it, you will understand what I am talking about.
Sure.
And he has given some amazing insight from his own experience. Today he may not be able to talk about that. It depends upon what kind of question do you ask. It's just yesterday it struck in my mind when I was thinking in the morning that let somebody who's much more enlightened in terms of sound should I ask. I checked up with 2-3 people and he very graciously agreed to spend 1 hour. He's very busy, I know personally, but he's still, I requested, and he's a FTI graduate, so he said, okay, I'll come for 1 hour, no problem. So there would be assignment, and it is a aesthetic, not the technical things over there. Aesthetic is more important than technicalities, you know. So that's one. So then we have Kshitiz is over. Nitesh खुराना सर साउंड रिकॉर्डिंग एंड साउंड डिजाइन के लिए ओरिएंटेशन में कैसे प्रोजेक्ट दिया जाएगा सी इट कुड बी again I would be talking about this in my class, so I will not discuss right now because a very specific sound recording question. Weightage was as prospectus 20% written, 50% orientation, 30% interview. This is how final merit list shall be decided. Technically yes, but it is overall impression. It's the overall impression. How you create that overall impression, that would determine your position in the second, third, fourth. Only difference would be first and second people get the scholarship, I suppose. Rest of people may not be. So it doesn't matter much. If you get into the first, second position is good. If not, feel fortunate that you got in. So that's enough. Ragved Dandekar. Sir, how many people will be there in the orientation and interview and what will be their background? They would be connected with the domain expert. One faculty member would be there. There could be two faculty members also. One would be from FTI, one would be from SRFTI because it is happening combined. Domain expert would be one. Normally they get one person. So 3 is minimum. It could be 4 also. But in an interview, there would be 4 people. Director, SRFTI, Director FTI would also be there. So Raghavendra is Harshita. Sir, I have done BFA in photography, JNAFAU. What is the Jawaharlal Nehru University in somewhere in Hyderabad? Harshita, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it the same university, Jawaharlal Nehru University in Hyderabad?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
sir.
So you have done the BFA. Will that be raised for me in orientation, and does that make it any difficult for me? Yes. You already have studied photography. So you are supposed to know Ansel Adam. You are supposed to know all these big boys. You are supposed to know entire basic fundamental of photography and aesthetics of photography. So yes, if I would be sitting over there and if I come to know you are a BFA, I make sure that whatever the toughest question I can ask in my life, I will ask all that questions to you. Because you have spent 4 years. You were sitting in a cafeteria or you were sitting into the library. That is what I am going to check. So 4 years is good, but what did you learn over there in 4 years? That is what I am going to find out. So moment you say you have spent 4 years studying photography, my expectation level goes high. And believe me, I would ask tough questions. I will not spare you. And those tough questions would also be to those people who have not done BFA. Why? Because I need to choose the people who are the best. Are you getting my point? So in cinematography class, you are there. So we will start there itself. Don't feel offended, but I am giving you honest opinion so that you should be ready. I am not here to make you happy. I am here to make you understand what exactly is going to happen. See the mirror. That's very important. Arnav, how important is your past experience for TV wing? If you whatever, as I said, whatever experience you have is good enough. Even if the gentleman was from different background, now he got interested in a sound. That's okay. You may have done the MBA and now you're interested in a sound. Because at any day you can be enlightened. So it is as simple as that. Doesn't matter. Has there been any communication regarding when the orientation interview are? They have mentioned the date from 19th onward. It will be very soon. They would also be telling you the exact schedule. So keep checking your mail 3 times in a day. That is what I expect from all educated people. Sunil, hi sir, how many days and what they expect from us during our orientation interview? Days, as I said, it will be 4 days. Expectation is that, are you an intelligent person? If yes, how much? Utsav Naskar, I have been selected for 2 courses. The orientation timing will be different. Yes, for sure the orientation will be different. That's why this is a combined one. Earlier also they had to really work out the dates and time and schedule and all that so that it not clash. Now that nonsense is over, they have become more wiser and experienced. So that will be for sure. Rohit Mahadev, sir, electronic cinematography course and film cinematography course में क्या difference है? I will repeat my answer which I gave 3 years back. It is a 3 year, it is a 1 year. Now you will say this is a stupid answer. We also know it. In 1 year, you will be under pressure to learn maximum because you don't have a time to while away. So you will be much more serious than 3-year boys. In 3 year, you will get more opportunity to drink under the wisdom tree. We call it as an old monk. In a 1 year, you will get less opportunity to drink. That's another difference. Otherwise, there is no difference. These people consider themselves as much more superior because they are using Alexa. You people are children of a lesser god. You may be using Black Magic or Canon 5D Mark IV. That's the only difference, but doesn't matter. As I said earlier, 1 year student graduated from television wing are charging 1,50,000 rupees a day, and they are as busy as someone from film wing. Doesn't really matter at all. If today, with my experience and my knowledge, if I have to join FTI or SRFTI as a student, I would not prefer 3 year, I would prefer 1 year. This is my decision. You may have a different decision, doesn't matter. Kriti. Kriti, in my category, only 5 to 6 people are selected. My selection is sure. How is it made sure one will get FTI or SRFTI? Kriti, which is your course? Can you repeat your course? Which course you have selected? Kriti, are you around? Okay. So there is no surety of as such, but lesser the number, the ratio is 1:3, as I said. If there is a 1 seat, 3 people are going to be interviewed on an average. So if lesser the number are there, if the seat is 1, for example, let's say for any of the reserved category, so ratio still remains same. It really doesn't matter. Surety is not there. There is only one surety in the world. If you have a born, you will die. There is no rest of the surety. So yeah, please.
Sir, I wanted to ask that how do they make sure that whether somebody is going to FTII or SRFTI?
It is your choice. You have to choose. It's your choice. You have to.
Okay.
You will be given the choice. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me carefully again. You would be given the choice of the courses if you are being shortlisted in that particular course where we have appeared. You may have appeared into 2 or 3 different courses, and you may have got selected in all the 3 different courses. So choice will be given to you for the course as well as for the institute. It's your choice if you are being shortlisted. If the seats are filled for FTI for that particular course, let's say for example, and your ranking is little less, say if you are on the 6th or 7th level and the institute is not available, then obviously you have a choice whether you choose the institute, then the different course, and if you wanted that particular course only, then another institute where it is available. So choice will be given to you provided you are in a higher rank category. As per your ranking, the choice would be available to you after the interview and all that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so there would be again a orientation from FTI and SRFTI where you all will be participating, and they will be making clear to you any question which you have. You can ask them, irrespective of the fact, whatever is in your mind. So it will. I would again and again say that choose your course. Calcutta is a wonderful city. Only people sometimes feel Pune is much better because it is close to Bombay. Many people from Bombay would come and visit there. Yes, it is true. Almunayo FTI is much more stronger, but Calcutta is equally vibrant city. I would say it is much more vibrant than Pune. I have lived in Pune. Pune is a very sleepy city. But if I have a choice, come from another city, I would prefer Calcutta than the Pune in terms of city, because you're not only studying in the institution, you also have the Saturday, Sunday to roam around, check out their venue, various places, location and all that. So Calcutta, I would say much more vibrant, much more warm in terms of people, Bengali people, the literature, art, cinema particularly is much more happening in Calcutta than in Bombay. But those who have lived their life in Calcutta for 22 years, 25 years, they might like to go to another city called Pune, even if according to me it is very lazy and sleepy city. But FTI itself is a small planet, you hardly find the time to go out. So that's it. So it doesn't matter. You will be given the choice. You would be given the choice. Akash, sir, they are going to check 50K for securing a seat in JSK. So will this amount be inclusive of all overall institution fee? So there's a bifurcation. They check the bifurcation of last year in which they have mentioned the tuition fees, hostel fees, and security deposit. It is same for everyone. Please check the details. I really cannot comment on it as of today. Sir, there are going to be, yeah, this is sound design Kriti. I have just applied in one course only. Very good. You have no confusion in your life. People like you are much more focused. And even if you apply for two courses, it should be 1 year versus 3 year, but the same discipline. Sound design is my forte, is my passion. I don't want to get into the editing, etc., etc. People like those are having a much more choice, much more chances to get selected because they are much more focused. इस ये नहीं है कि यहाँ नहीं होता चलो वहाँ घुस जाते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Manav, sir, did not get Yogesh Mathur YouTube lecture for editing. I have sent it yesterday to all of you. Manav, are you for editing? Manav, are you around?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you check your spam mail?
नो सर, मैं चेक कर लेता हूँ.
हाँ, और आपने कब ज्वाइन किया है यहाँ पर? मैंने भेजा है, दोबारा चेक करिए. नहीं मिलेगा तो यू सेंड ए मेल टू मी, आई विल सेंड इट अगेन टू यू.
एक एक्सेल फाइल आपने शेयर की है, वो मैंने चेक किया.
एक्सेल फाइल यूट्यूब लिंक्स का है जिसमें दुनिया भर के यूट्यूब चैनल के लिंक मैंने भेजे हैं सब लोगों को.
सर
उसको
वो भी नहीं ओपन हो रहा था, वो सिक्योर नहीं दिखा रहा था, तो वो ओपन नहीं हो रहा.
चलो कोई बात नहीं, मैं उसको दोबारा से भेज देता हूँ. जिन लोगों को ओपन नहीं हो रहा है, मैं दोबारा, आज काफ़ी और लोगों ने रात को जागे हैं वो लोग, तो 4-5 और नए लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया है. सो आई विल सेंड दैट एक्सेल फाइल ऑफ वेरियस यूट्यूब चैनल विच आई हैव सब्सक्राइब्ड. आई लाइक्ड certain videos which I liked, so it has a lot of compilation for various categories. It will be helpful for all of you. I will send it again, and I would also send the Mathu Saab's lecture only for editing, not for everybody. Okay, so I'm done for today. Looks like Manav sir did not get this. So Manav was the last candidate, and we already are 11:08. If you still somebody has a question who has not typed, you can quickly ask. I will try to answer it.
सर 3 दिन के ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम में वो
3 or 4. It could be 4 also. It can go up to 5 also, depend upon number of student. 3 will be the minimum. Yeah.
सर वो क्या कुछ पढ़ाते हैं हमें, उसके बाद
पढ़ाएंगे. पढ़ाते तो हैं भी और नहीं भी, बट वो कुछ they will discuss something, they will give you some brief about something, and then they would ask you certain thing. But मेरे ज़माने में, ज़माना in the sense when we were physically over there, they were film appreciation. They will show you a film in the evening every day for 5 days. Then next day in the class they will ask from the cinematography point of view, what did you notice over there? Editing people would ask editing related. Then there was a combined class for 1 hour. Those time was different, is a history. But हो सकता है कुछ वो कुछ पढ़ाएं भी, ऐसा भी हो सकता है. और हो सकता है कुछ फिल्म एप्रिसिएशन से कनेक्टेड कुछ चीज़ें बताएं आपको कि आपको क्या क्या नोटिस करना है. अब आप बताइए, इस जो हमने आपको समझाया उसके हिसाब से आप जो है क्या समझे हैं. सो डिड नॉट गेट. ओके सर, साउंड इज़ फॉर 3 years. You said you would choose 1 year then 3. How does the sound course sustain for 3 years? See, it's a quantum of learning. 3 साल का जो कोर्स है उसमें बहुत कुछ दुनिया भर का सीखने के लिए है. दुनिया भर के इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट्स हैं जो रोज़ रोज़ 3-3 महीने 6-6 महीने में आ जाते हैं. माइक्रोफोन के ऊपर मैं 1 महीने का लेक्चर दे सकता हूँ आपको, डेली 2 घंटे के ऊपर. सो देयर इज सो मच क्वांटम टू लर्न. व्हाट आई नीड टू से इज, बट येस, आई वुड से दैट I will change my statement again for sound recording course now. Sound recording course has lot of technicalities to learn. अभी डॉल्बी एटमॉस आ गया है, फिर डॉल्बी डिजिटल तो ये बहुत पहले से चल रहा था, SR पहले से चल रहा था, तो बहुत सारा नया नया टेक्नोलॉजी आ रहा है, तो बहुत सारे नए नए सॉफ्टवेयर आ गए हैं, प्लगइन्स आ गए हैं. सो इट डिपेंड अपॉन हाउ मच these people are updated themselves. I know some of the professors, they are still there from my time, and they're really knowledgeable people. I mean, knowledgeable means knowledgeable, particularly in FTI. Even the professor at SRFTI, I happens to know him because he was a student and when I was studying over there, my colleague over there. So these people are really, really knowledgeable, and I've seen them many a times that they attend various seminars. I attend various such kind of a thing in India. So they are really updated. So to impart that much of technicalities which is happening around, I think 3 year for only for sound recording is worth than 1 year. I am changing my statement again after reading this thing from Kriti, that yes, there's a lot to learn in technicalities in sound. There's so many software, Pro Tool, Cubase, Nuendo, Ableton, and God knows what not. So plugins, this plugin business is very, very dangerous. Dangerous in the sense every third day you find some new plugins coming in the market, and so many mixers are there, so many companies are there. Since I run this magazine called Cinematography Art, and occasionally we conduct interviews of sound recordists also, so I keep myself updated what is going on. So there's a lot of technology is happening today in the sound. So I think if if you have a choice, and if you are not old enough, you should prefer 3 years than 1 year. Only for sound recording, not for other courses. Yeah. मुस्कान सर, वन मोर क्वेश्चन. कहाँ हो मुस्कान? पूछो, क्वेश्चन क्या है आपका?
सर जैसे अगर फिल्म्स के बारे में एग्जांपल्स देने को बोले तो मेरी प्रेफरेंस में ऐसी फिल्म्स अगर मैं चूज करूँ जो मुझे पसंद है रादर देन जो क्रिटिकली अक्लेम्ड है या बहुत फेमस है. सपोज मैंने वो इतनी ज्यादा ऑब्जर्वेशन से नहीं देखी एंड रादर आई विल चूज अ फिल्म जो रीसेंट हो, जो मुझे बहुत पसंद है या जो ओटीटी पे आई हो.
नाम
तो सर,
बताइए ऐसी
उससे
फिल्म का जो आपको पसंद है और लोगों को शायद ना पसंद.
सर जैसे अभी किल मूवी आई है रिसेंटली,
Correct,
तो
correct.
मेरे को पर्सनली वो फिल्म बहुत पसंद आई. और अगर एग्जांपल देना होगा सपोज एडिटिंग में, सिनेमेटोग्राफी में, तो मैंने उसके बारे में बैकग्राउंड पढ़ा और मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा जैसे वो शूट की गई थी.
करेक्ट. पता है आपको
लेकिन
किसने
अगर
शूट किया है वो? आई एम इंटरप्टिंग. हु इज द सिनेमेटोग्राफर ऑफ दैट फिल्म? Rafe Mahmood. This is what they're going to ask. His name is Rafe Mahmood, if I'm not mistaken.
Rafe Mahmood, yes.
So,
and the sound designer is Subhash Sahu.
Subhash Sahu is the sound designer. So, Subhash is my batchmate, as well as he is also a trustee of the Craft Film School. So, we are very good friends. Very often we meet and all that. So, Sahu has done the sound design. So, again, since these both people are FTI people, so there is a chance that some of the FTI graduate would have seen this film who are sitting in the interview board. So even if the moment there is a connect of the FTI, people are more alert. If you choose some weird film from from Kerala, where no FTI graduate is there, though the film is very good, so chances are little less. But if you have selected film like this, there is a much more probability that they would have seen it. And even if they would not have seen it, the way you would describe, they will understand that what have you understood from that sound design point of view or from cinematography point of view, that we will talk about in the class over there.
सर लेकिन जैसे बहुत ही मैंने बैटलशिप पोटेम्किन का भी फिल्म का नाम सुना है, लेकिन मुझे पर्सनली वो बहुत पसंद नहीं आई. ऑल्दो लर्निंग पर्सपेक्टिव से वो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, but I would prefer giving an example of a recent film I watched. So sir,
Correct.
What would you prefer?
I would say what appeals to me. What appeals to me, I would talk about that. If it appeals to you, don't mention those big names of the textbook. We call it as a textbook films. Battleship Potemkin is a textbook film. We talk about that from that era. Think from in those number of years when the cinema was still evolving. Somebody thought of those kind of montages, and that it is a silent sequence. You got my point? So
Yes.
it is, if from today's point of view, when we look at those films, they may not sound very exciting and interesting, but think from the point of view when you was born in those years and the cinema is still evolving. They are great from that reference, but from today's context, they may look very simple, very obsolete for that matter, may not be that exciting, but in those days when the cinema was evolving, somebody was experimenting that. From that point of view, it's a great cinema, but from today's point of view, it's ordinary. So, substantiate, argue from the point of view what appeals to you. Argue means put your views, not argue. Put your views from contemporary point of view, what you believe is exciting. Okay? That's what I believe in.
Okay.
So Muskan is over. Kriti, thank you sir, quite helpful. Mohit, sir, is there any preferred language to use while interacting with faculty? Don't talk in Malayalam, Kannada or some Telugu language, even until unless you happens to find a Kerala boy and the Kerala boy is from applicant also, maybe he can speak just to communicate with him. But no, I will not even suggest that. This language connectivity will not help you. Try to understand that. You may infatuate, immediately you get a little influence. This is some Banerjee Chatterjee and you are also Banerjee Chatterjee and you start talking in Bangla. No. Let everybody understand. And the Hindi and English is the language which everybody understands. So either use English or use Hindi. Don't try to use this language connect to get in. Okay? Be careful. So either Hindi or English should be the preferred language But if you find somebody is Nayar or something like that, and you know that he is a Malayalam guy, and you start speaking in Malayalam, I would not recommend that. You can do that, but I would say use a language which everybody understand, which means either Hindi or English. Okay, Mohit is done. Jay Mod Raju. Sir, I got selected in animation. Lecture did not happen yesterday. Yes, I had to cancel it because I was having only 3 students, so I was waiting for 2 more join, and I'm also trying to get some big boy to talk about it. I have a dear friend called Kirit Khurana. He directed first live action animation film called Toonpur Ka Superhero with Ajay and Kajol. So I'm trying to rope in the way I've done it today for the sound recording class, Vishnudeep Chatterjee. I'm trying to get him for the animation, though I can also talk for 1 hour, which I would be doing for the sound today. So kindly wait for 1 or 2 more days, and then I'll very soon I will be able to do it. Either most probably either for 16th or 17th, I'll queue up with him. That will be much more helpful for you because he is a domain expert. What he knows about animation, I hardly know. But since I know him for last 25 years, so I would prefer to get him. So kindly wait for 1 or 2 more days. Kriti, FTI or SRFTI provide placement for sound after 3 years? This is a most dangerous question. Don't dare to ask this damn thing. Placement, FTI, SRFTI, people are not aware of this word. This word, they don't know what this word is all about. If by mistake, if you ask this question, what about my placement, then you're gone. You are out. 200% you are out. Because see, they have given you enough knowledge to go outside and check out. Today you have a Facebook, you have a Instagram, you have a LinkedIn, you have WhatsApp. You can find their number easily through, at least you can send a message through Facebook Messenger. So if you ask this question about FTI, SRFTI, about placement, big cross. I'm repeating, big cross. This girl or this boy is good for nothing. Throw him out. So these 2 words are banned in FTIs or FTI interview, and they don't. They are least bothered about it. They are Sarkari boys sleeping very comfortably. Don't disturb them. Maybe if he happens to be today, because there is a Facebook and people are closely connected, he might give you a number of someone if you ask. But if nobody gives you the number, you have my email. Ask me the number of mobile number. At least I can give you that much. Whosoever is big boy in Bombay, if he has achieved something, I have his mobile or email address, and I don't mind giving it to anyone, provided if it can help. But they will not help you in general, but of course they can give you the mobile number or email address of if they want to. Otherwise, don't expect them to connect it with, and there is no placement department, by the way. Like in a private universities, you have a placement department. So don't worry about the placement. You will find the placement provided you know your job. Kriti, are you listening to me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't worry. Placement is a very small thing. Very small thing. You will get placed. Important is, are you able to build your career in that field? What is placement? Doing a job into some company, some sound recording studio. Are you here to looking for a job? No.
No, sir.
You want to build up your career. So people should know you as a sound designer someday. That is what your ambition is,
Right.
So it will happen. Don't worry about that. It's a very small thing. It's very small thing. Placement is very small thing. You will find someone who will accept you, provided you know your job. That's very important. And most important is you are not arrogant. People who graduate from FTI and SRFTI are very, very arrogant. And that's the reason they are not able to make it. I have done the complete research on FTI. I am giving this statement in recording. Why people graduate from FTI fail to make it? Because they become arrogant in 3 years. They think they are the blessing on this humanity after graduating from FTI or SRFTI. But those people who are humble, who are not arrogant, I would say, if not humble, at least they are not arrogant, they make it. People who are arrogant, I have seen them struggling throughout their life, and they are still struggling for their bread and butter after getting graduate from FTI Pune in 70s. Imagine. I know some of them personally because they were arrogant. And the arrogance never let them do anything in their life. Okay. So, animation is over. FTI, this. Yes, sir, right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, It's 11:20. So it's. I hope I answered most of your question. Wish you all the best. Those who make it, wonderful. Those who could not, always think you have a plan, better plan by the nature for you, rather than going to FTI or SRFTI. There's a better plan for you. I always believed in. You may not be able to understand. You may be little disappointed. You may be little depressed. Oh, I could not make it. So it's okay. It doesn't matter. There is, you can, I have done a research on FTI graduates, how many of them could make it in the industry. And you will be little disappointed that this percentage is not very high. But they all are earning their bread and butter. So if you look into the industry, let's say for example Bollywood, 470 directors are there in my list who have done one film, two film or three films. And you would be surprised, FTI graduates are hardly 20%. So doesn't matter. If you get in, you are getting a best opportunity to learn from the best of the places at economical price. That's the only difference. You can still learn it, you can still get into the industry, and that is what counts. Irrespective of the fact whether you are a label of FTI or SRFTI, it really doesn't matter much. It matters to some extent. When you say, I am an engineer graduate from IIT, people will say, oh, IIT. But you can still become an engineer if you are not graduate from IIT. Am I right or wrong? So good luck, all the best. Don't get tensed and relax. That is the formula to crack. If you are relaxed, you will be able to crack more easily. If you are tensed, you will not.